to the 3x5 Live
podcast.
All right. So last week we chatted about all our favorite things.
We did. I know that we were a little late to the Christmas gift giving train, but hopefully you got some ideas or inspiration or things that you can even put into your own life and practices so that you can continue on your well-being and health journey.
Yes.
We also hope that everybody had an awesome weekend celebrating whatever you celebrate. We had quite a magical Christmas with our little ones. They're definitely at that age, 5 and 8, where, you know, all the Christmas magic is still alive, and I'm trying to bottle it up as much as I can so I can keep it through their teenage years.
Our daughter was very upset to see her Elf on the Shelf leave.
I know, yeah.
But she had to fly away to the North Pole.
And help Santa for next year.
That's right. Such is life. Disappointments. So this is a 3-part series on goal setting.
Yes.
So the next 3 weeks, we're going to be talking about goals. This is kind of the foundation that we think needs to be worked on before the actual tactical goal setting. So next week, we'll talk about more of the tactical. This week is kind of like the foundation, the precursor to diving into that topic. But before we do that, the 3x5 Life system is launched. It's up there. So it's the system. It's all the different cards. We have a mini course that goes with that. It's just like 6 videos long. Each video is 5 to 7 minutes just to kind of talk about how each card impacts the other card, how it all works together. But it's neat. It comes in a container. So it's kind of like this keepsake.
Like a time capsule.
A time capsule of, you know, a glimpse into the goals you're trying to achieve, the reflections, things that you're struggling with. So, you know, future generations could look back at kind of a glimpse of your life in a year. It's super hard to have a consistent journaling practice. And, you know, the simple 3x5 card makes it a simpler process. So yeah, it's out there. It's alive.
We hope you enjoy it. We'd love all feedback. We do only have a limited supply, not to be like gimmicky, but just because it's, you know, we're launching it and we're doing it intentionally. So feedback is always helpful so that we can always
improve and iterate. Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. So this podcast is going to be about mindset and creating that mindset foundation before diving into actual goal setting.
Because I think goal setting is a very trendy thing to do. You know, January 1st, not saying trendy, but like January 1st hits and we're all like, all right, we got to set our goals. And everyone's like out of the gate and we're going and we're writing down our goals and we have them posted somewhere. And usually January and February, we're like on track. And then, you know, it just kind of falls away. So that mindset piece, like Bryan was saying, the foundation or that precursor, you have to know the why behind why you're like creating these goals. And so for us, it starts with a reflection. We were talking about how if your mindset is this like core belief system that you have, reflecting on this year, on 2021, and knowing that obviously the state of the world, there's some craziness going on and there's some things out of our control. Mm-hmm. But what are those things that you were thinking about the most, that you were focusing your energy and vibration on, and that every day you were like, how were you feeling? Like, what was that overall arching feeling that you had? Did you feel like you were, you know, at your healthiest? Did you feel like you were connected, you know, to the people who are in your life? You know, what were those feelings like? Because if you can identify that current state, that's where you can then focus on that mindset shift of what would you like 2022 to be like? What are you feeling like? What are you focusing on? What are you thinking about? And that mindset, when you can get that in place, that allows you to then focus on the behaviors that help you to meet your goals. If you don't have the mindset first and the why behind this goal setting practice, you're not going to do it because you don't know what you're ultimately trying to achieve. And it is that idea of feeling our best.
Yeah. And I mean, I kind of doubled down on mindset and the thoughts around mindset. I hired a mindset coach about 1.5 years ago, and mindset truly does drive behavior. And if you're improving your mindset, how you visualize the world, the frame you're operating out of, then it creates this internal belief system to be able to achieve your bigger goals. As your mindset improves, as your mindset gets stronger, your ability to achieve bigger goals just gets that much bigger.
And you've heard the term like growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Mm-hmm. You know, Carol Dweck's work, the book is called Mindset. If you haven't looked or tackled this concept at all, that's a really great place to start. But I do know that this is something that Bryan works on a ton, and that those frames that you talked about, even kind of explaining those, maybe you've mentioned it before, but you come back to that all the time because I've heard you take a situation and then put it through that frame to make sure that it is in alignment with what you want to do with your brain and your mind.
And not, I mean, you can choose how you show up every day. And then you can also, so that's one category, but then you can also choose your behaviors that you choose to you pour into every day.
Mm-hmm.
So those two categories are two things you can control. You can't really control, hey, I have this big goal, it's out there, like if you hit it or not, because a lot of times there might be things that happen that are outside, the scope of what we can control as human beings, but we can control how we show up and then the behaviors we choose to engage with on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. I think the next piece, which lends itself pretty nicely, and I don't know, when you think about this goal setting process, a lot of times we set goals for different buckets of our life, but that overarching mission of it aligns perfectly with mindset. That's that idea of, optimizing how you feel.
Yes.
Every single day. And again, that reflection process, going back to that mindset training of how have I been feeling in the past? But this is something that I work on with my grad students and when I do professional developments around self-care and stress. And I always ask them that question of, when was a time in your life that you felt the greatest, whether that be mind, body, soul? Like, when did you feel your healthiest? Sometimes people identify right after college. Some people identify when they were in high school. And then you ask them to zoom out then and look at what were the pillars or levers or behaviors
yes.
that they had in place at that time that allow them to feel their best. And so if you can take those pillars that they know already work for them, because you remember that feeling, you remember feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you feel good, think about like you're able to connect with people better. Your relationships are healthier. You are happier, right? There's more joy in your life. And so that idea, that mission of feeling your best should be the overarching theme to every other piece of this goal setting puzzle.
Yes, because when you're feeling your best, your likelihood of achieving your goals is exponentially higher.
Right.
It's just like rocket fuel to achieve your goals. So it has to start out with what vibration, what energy are you showing up with every day? Like Jessie says, what levers need to be pulled? Some people can operate on 6 hours of sleep. I need 8 hours of sleep. I know that's a lever I need to pull. And if I don't pull it, then I'm not going to show up the next day. So that's going to probably be a wasted day. That's not going to really optimize myself to achieve that little micro goal that's going to compound to a bigger goal later in the year.
And this isn't easy stuff. Like this is hard work. Like Bryan just explained to you one pillar of sleep and the experimentation process that goes into trying to optimize what your body and you specifically need for your sleep goal. And it's going to be different from everybody else's. And so with any type of well-being or mission or mindset or feeling well, there's not a book that's going to solve this for you. It really is a process of experimentation and finding what works for you. And again, that takes work and attention. And so this first series in this 3-part series, we want you to really hone in on that. This isn't like, I know you guys are probably listening to this when you're, in the car or you're doing something, but maybe pause it and come back to this and really kind of think about what were some of those things that I was doing when I was feeling my best. And if you've never felt that energy and vibrancy or you haven't achieved that yet, then look at what you think could be put into place to help you feel that way. And so these are all pieces that we're going to talk about in great detail in the second podcast. What are some of these pillars that we know to be true and that we work on consistently? I'm telling you, when you start to feel energized, like one thing can spark it, right? Like you said, it's like the fuel. And then it becomes like a drug. Like you're like, wow, I feel really good. I didn't even know I could feel this way. Or like, oh my gosh, the brain fog is gone and I can focus my attention on something. When you start to feel good, you just want more and more and more of it. So it's that process of like setting that mission so you know what that feeling you're striving for is so that your goals can align to hit that mission.
Yes. So well said.
Oh, thanks, babe.
And that's why, we talked a few weeks ago about Optimized Coach that I did. And it's a year-long program. And I did it twice because he dials so into the fundamentals of life that if you're doing the things that he tells you to do, which are not easy, like you said, you just operate at a whole nother level. And I got addicted to that feeling. So I wanted to hone my craft. So that's why I did it 2 years in a row. So well said.
Something to think about, something to kind of chew on and digest. And then, like we said, next week, we're going to take it a step further when we know our mission. And then we're going to look at those individual pieces of the puzzle that can help us get there.
Yep. So until next week,
Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year. Woo!
We'll see you in 2022. Take care.
Hello world, wake me up to another good morning, time to go.